Fyre once
Fire.
Pablo Escobar.
Fire? Fyre Festival!
Ding, ding, ding! What do we have for her, Johnny?
I don't know if it's fry or fry. Fire! Either way, I was nosy as hell with this one. I was flabbergasted. I just could not believe how this shit went down. Internet is just a fascinating place. Internet historian, the failure of the festival.
Hi there. You're probably wondering how I got this tan. Well, let me tell you the story.
Hey, we gotta take a second to say hey to Wilson over there. Wilson!
Well, let me tell you the story. It begins with a man by the name of Billy McFarland. Billy was a good boy. At 22, he had dreams of becoming a super wealthy entrepreneur.
Make it till you make it, I guess.
To start a business called Magnesis. Over the years, he managed to network with some powerful people. One of them was Ja Rule.
How?
Translated from German, I believe it means, yes, rule. Over drinks, he pitched an idea. Here's an accurate recreation of that event.
Mr. Rule,
He says,
I have a brilliant idea.
Like, word, like, yo, what happened? I'm like, yo, this nigga too wild, fucking his bitch.
precisely, great minds
Right.
think alike. It will be 2 weeks of absolute luxury in the Bahamas. Promotion began in late 2016. Fyre promised beaches, ladies, gourmet food, luxury villas, hosted on a private island in the Bahamas called Fyre once
Fire.
Pablo Escobar.
Fire? Fyre Festival!
Ding, ding, ding! What do we have for her, Johnny?
$150,000. Swimming pigs. Blink 182.
Blink 182 was supposed to be out there though? What? Yes, I was a stand for Blink 182 once upon a time in my life. And I got older and then I realized maybe you just liked them because they was making fun of boy bands that you also enjoyed. All the small things.
The best 2 damn weeks of your life. I bought my
Sounded
ticket
good.
immediately. The day arrives. About 5,000 people are making their way directly from Miami Airport, and there are huge delays to get to Fyre. Although I shouldn't say Fyre, because it doesn't exist. In the marketing, they
Fyre?
referenced this island, which is actually Norman's Cay, run by George Jung, not Pablo, by the way. But that doesn't matter because we're not going there either. We're going to Great Exuma. Private island? Forget that. Population, 7,000. In fact, we're basically in the parking lot of a sandals resort. In the end, only about 500 of us make it to the island. The remaining customers' flights are cancelled. You're about to see why. We're hauled onto a school bus and taken to the site, a gravel lot with a bunch of FEMA tents.
Oh no!
Remember
Oh,
those
yeah.
promises of luxurious villas? Pranked ya? Enjoy your stay, and don't forget your complimentary cup of UNICEF rice.
Turn this bus right around!
Once there, no one knows whose tent belongs to whom, so staff try getting everyone into a line. Then they abandon that idea and tell everyone it's a free-for-all.
He just wasn't ready for it.
Expecting a party, this guy took all of his drugs on the flight over. He's the only one having any fun.
Hey,
Everyone
shit.
else is grumpy
Don't blame
because it's been 5 hours and there's no food. In lieu of food, staff decide to start handing out tons of free tequila.
Yeah,
This only exacerbates problems.
yeah.
Once the food does arrive, it's just as delectable as promised though. Gourmet craft single there. A few hours later, bags arrive on a shipping container. It was getting dark and there was no lighting.
So everybody's walking around with their cell phones trying to look for their luggage.
Plenty of people had their luggage stolen. But don't worry, if you have any valuables,
Yes.
the festival advertised top-notch security. Here it is. But no one told guests they had to provide their own lock. There are rumors of muggings by the locals.
I heard rumors of feral dogs.
A tent supposedly caught fire. The closest beach has a rampant shark problem. Staff don't have any uniforms or walkie-talkies, so no one knows who's in charge, and the people who are in charge can't talk to each other.
Honestly, that's
Here's
gotta
the
be a
bathroom.
scary damn feeling.
Many staff quit after only a couple of hours. For the few customers who were willing to just make the most of it and enjoy the music, they had some bad news too. All of the major musical acts pulled out. In fact, Major Lazer wasn't even confirmed to go in the first place.
Don't drag us
The
into
event was
this.
promoted as cashless, so all people had were these useless Disney bucks on their Fyre band. which meant they couldn't buy anything or catch a cab if they were stranded. And even with only 500 people, there are too few tents and beds, so everyone is just stealing each other's. And for any of you thinking you could just escape to the sandals, bad luck. It's peak season and they are absolutely full. People are reaching out to the embassy for help.
The juggernaut?
After a few hours, most people chose to go back to the airport, and the rest were forced back home when the Bahamian government stepped in. The festival was closed. Guests spent hours dehydrated and hung over in a hot building. Why staff locked the door isn't entirely known, but one girl fainted before they were finally reopened. Everyone gets home, and that was the end of it. Except for me. I was rescuing someone, helping them out, and I got lost in the woods. Anyway, back at home, the shitstorm on social media was just ramping up. The Reddit Fyre Festival was created, and it started documenting everything that went wrong at the event. People were circulating a fake tweet by Jar that the whole thing was a social experiment. Some wholesome festival memes there. And it quickly turned into a marketing case study of what not to do. In response, Fyre started serving cease and desist letters to stop people from saying mean things about them. Mr. Rule released an official statement online, both apologizing and saying that it's not his fault.
What? Not a fan.
What the fuck did you just say?
I'll say that much. He wasn't even there. The hell?
Interestingly, he wasn't even on the
Don't put your
island
face
at
on
the
something if
time.
you don't-
He was giving a concert in Chicago. Although, to their credit, they offer everyone a full refund. Or, you could always let it ride and opt in for tickets to 2018's Fyre Festival.
Wait a minute,
VIP
what?
ticket to next year's
Whoa,
Fyre
whoa, whoa.
Festival if they decide to go. Exactly.
Meanwhile, Billy is on full damage control.
They was trying to do another
He
one?
claims that a storm came in the night before and changed all of the marketing into lies.
We got to a point that we were very excited about on Wednesday night with how the two sites looked, and we got hit by a big storm.
But the apologies weren't enough. A few days later, and the first lawsuit was served.
Attorney Ben Misalis doesn't think it's funny. He's filed a $100 million class action lawsuit against the organizers.
Then another suit. Then 7 more. Then the feds got involved, claiming Billy had committed wire fraud. Serious charges with serious prison time. More on that later.
I'm not a lawyer. That's the best I can do.
Right now, let's go into the history of Fyre Festival.
Fire.
To get the word out, they got in touch with about 400 influencers, Instagram celebrities, and they offered them VIP tickets or cash to promote the event. They even managed to get Kendall Jenner to post about it. Rumor has it she was paid $250,000 for this post. Their marketing worked though. The festival sold out. So how did it go so wrong? Let's start with the money. During the planning process, a
You just
consultant
promised a
came
whole
in and
bunch
said
of
the
lies.
festival would cost $50 million and require another year of organization.
They should have planned this 2 whole years out.
This is after they made all the promises, and they had nothing near that amount, so they started cutting expenses way back. Remember those luxury villas? They were going to cost $10 million alone, so they scrapped them. Now everyone gets a tent.
Yay.
Deposits for the bands? Nope.
Nickelback?
Food,
No, you ain't getting your money
infrastructure,
back.
staff, all were cut back. But, you may ask, how did they have so little cash if they sold out? It's the price. It was way too low. Now wait a minute, up to $250,000 a ticket is too low. In fact, on social media, people were so merciless and unsympathetic towards the guests because they thought it was a bunch of rich kids paying for tickets with a starting price of $12,000. And you can thank fake news for that assumption. You see that number repeated everywhere. But actually, very few were paying even close to that amount. The standard price was around $1,200.
$1,200 for a 2-week vacation on a private island?
Halfway.
My stuff only you telling me that that discount, that sounds, you know when something says it's too good to be true? See, I didn't know this. 2 weeks on a private island, all the free food, all the free champagne, musical guests for $1,000, not $12,000, but $1,200. Wowzers.
Which, if you think about 2 weeks in the Bahamas with practically all of your expenses taken care of,
Yeah, you got it.
pretty bloody good.
Hey,
in fact,
that's pretty good.
some
Too
tickets
good.
were as low as $500.
Oh no.
6 months ago, got together and got the early bird special for about $500. And this covered food, transportation, ticket, and somewhere to sleep.
How on earth were they going to break even with that? They weren't. And on the flip side, there's no proof whatsoever that anyone purchased a $250,000 ticket. So basically, they're stuffed. Billy has to start taking tough short-term loans just to keep afloat. Which, by the way, is why they did the Fyre bans. It was to raise cash. It's reported that up to $2 million in Firebucks in-game currency was spent in the lead up to the event. But this wasn't even close to enough. Practically broke, and with the event only a few weeks away, the more experienced staff suggested postponing. But thanks to those short-term loans, he couldn't. So he insisted on going forward. Those staff tried to control the damage by telling celebrities and public figures not to go.
How was the Fyre Festival?
So, Billy and Jar are in some serious trouble. But let's please have one failed festival that has a sequel. Well, Billy is out on $300,000 bail. His assets were frozen as at May 18th. He dropped his expensive attorneys. He's selling his property in New York. He tried to sell Magnesis for $150,000, but it was cancelled for being fraudulent. Massively in debt and with no hope of paying it back, Fyre went into involuntary bankruptcy.
I bet.
And that is the end of Fyre Festival.
Oh, Castaway.
I'll keep you posted about whether Billy is going to jail. So long, Fyre Festival. You were too beautiful for this world. And as for me,
It was a good idea.
well, it's time to go home.
You got Wilson with you? Oh no. Oh no. Fyre Festival founder Billy McFarland is asking to be released early from a federal prison that's been called a breeding ground for the coronavirus. So you're still in jail. This is April 16, 2020. He has been sentenced to 6 years in prison. Ooh. Rough. You're not doing what you're supposed to do with the money. You're supposed to be paying back all your debts and all that stuff, but yet you don't want to because you want to have a fabulous, wonderful life and show off on the gram and make festivals. When some things get out of hand, it probably started off with good intentions and it spiral out of control and he didn't know how to get out of it. Got some time to think about it now. There we go. I was saying that all wrong. It's fire. It's straight up fire. I could not imagine being out there, getting stuck out there and not knowing where you're at. First of all, you going to a place you've never been before, thinking you got security and people looking after you and stuff like that. You're on a private island. No, none of that. That sucks. But there we go, Blaze Squad. The failure of the Fyre Festival. Blaze Squad, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you blaze the like button. And I will see you guys in the next video.